forecasting. What is time series? Time series is a sequence of observations recorded at regular time intervals. Depending on the frequency, a time series may be daily, hourly, monthly, as well as number of clicks, etc. Okay then, what is forecasting? It is just like a prediction. Time series forecasting is like taking models, then fit them into historical data and using them to predict the future. It is as simple as linear regression. Check out how it works in the later part of the video. How many types of time series forecasting are there? The answer is 2. They are univariate and multivariate. Univariate time series forecasting. If you use only previous values of the time series to predict its future values, it is called univariate time series forecasting. For example, stock price of share of a company is dependent on its previous day's stock price. It multivariate time series forecasting. If we use predictors other than the time series to forecast, it is called multivariate time series forecasting. Example: what will happen to a company in next financial year given its present and previous number of employees, revenue, total profit. Different kinds of patterns in time series data. The first one is highly predictable. For this, no need of any model. For the second one, we can use time series forecasting. The third one is very easy to predict. It's looking like a simple sin x function, but no model is needed. The fourth one has no pattern, so we cannot predict anything. Components of time series model: trend, seasonal variations, cyclic variations, random variations. Trend. The trend shows the general tendency of the data to increase or decrease during a long period of time. A trend is a smooth, general, long-term, average tendency. It is not always the increase or decrease in the same direction throughout the given period of time. Seasonal variations. These are the rhythmic forces which operate in a regular and periodic manner over a span of less than a year. They have the same and almost same pattern during a period of 12 months. This variation will be present in a time series if the data are recorded hourly, daily, weekly, quarterly or monthly. Example: sales of a cloth merchant. Cyclic variations. The variations in a time series which operate themselves over a span of more than 1 year are the cyclic variations. This oscillatory movement has a period of oscillation of more than a year. One complete period is a cycle. The cyclic movement, sometimes called the business cycle. Example: business cycle that records periods of economic recession and inflation in financial sectors. Random variations. They are not regular variations and are purely random or irregular. Their fluctuations are unforeseen, uncontrollable, unpredictable, and erratic. These forces are earthquakes, wars, flood, famines, and any other disasters. Some of the applications of time series forecasting are forecasting inflation rate, forecasting unemployment rate, forecasting gold price, sales forecasting. It's time for some understandings. Mean and variance on time series. The first one shows stationary mean and stationary variance. The second one shows non-stationary mean and stationary variance. The third one shows stationary mean and non-stationary variance. Lag. Lag tells the number of time periods to consider. The kth lag is the time period that happened k times before time I. Example: lag 1 of y2 is equals to y1 and lag 4 of y9 is equals to y5. White noise. If a time series is white noise, it is a sequence of random numbers and cannot be predicted. A time series is a white noise if the variables are independent and identically distributed with a mean of 0. That means all variables have the same variance and each value has a 0 correlation with all other values in the series. Stationary of a time series. Stationarity means that the statistical properties of a process generating a time series do not change over time. It does not mean that the series does not change over time, just that the way it changes does not itself change over time. Thus, time series with trends or with seasonality are not stationary. In maximum cases, AR, MA, A, RMA needs data to be stationary. Observe these for a minute. The first In the first plot, we can clearly see that the mean varies, that means it increases, with time, which results in an upward trend. Thus, this is a non-stationary series. For a series to be classified as stationary, it should not exhibit a trend. Moving on to the second plot, we certainly do not see a trend in the series, but the variance of the series is a function of time. As mentioned previously, a stationary series must have a constant variance. If you look at the third plot, the spread becomes closer as the time increases, which implies that the covariance is a function of time. The three examples shown above represent non-stationary time series. Now look at a fourth plot. In this case, the mean, variance and covariance are constant with time. This is what a stationary time series looks like. Until now, we saw what are stationary and non-stationary time series. Now, let's see how to convert them from non-stationary to stationary. Differencing. In this method, we compute the difference of consecutive terms in the series. Differencing is typically performed to get rid of the varying mean. Mathematically, differencing can be written as this is the graph before applying differencing and this is the graph after applying differencing. Transformation. Transformations are used to stabilize the non-constant variance of a series. Common transformation methods include power transform, square root, and log transform. This is the graph before applying transformation. And this is the graph after applying transformation. Why do we convert non-stationary into stationary? Standard techniques are largely invalid where data is non-stationary. Many theories related to time series make assumptions that the variables of concern are stationary. In case of non-stationary data, regression equation shows significant relationship between two variables when actually there should not be any such relation. Autoregressive model. An AR model is one in which predictor variable is dependent on its own past values yt-1, yt-2, yt-3, etc. AR model is a parametric model. A common representation is AR of P, where P is the number of past values to consider. For AR of 3 means the predictor variable is dependent on its past 3 values. Here, ET is called the error term or white noise. AR-MA model. There are situations where the time series may be represented as a mix of both AR and MA model referred to as ARMA of P, Q. The general form of such a time series model is autocorrelation function. If yt is correlated with yt minus 1, then it is called autocorrelation. The word auto is because we are having both of them in same series moving average model, that is MA model Q. Partial autocorrelation function. Partial autocorrelation are used to measure the degree of association between yt and yt minus p when the effects of other time lags 1, 2, 3 and so on p minus 1 are removed. For example, if we want to find the PSEF between y1 and y5, then we remove intermediate logs, that is, there is no effect on y2, y3, y4. ARIMA model. ARIMA, short for Autoregressive Integrated Moving Average, is actually a class of models that explains a given time series based on its own past values, that is, its own lags and the lagged forecast errors, so that equation can be used to forecast future values, where P is the order of the AR term, Q is the order of the MA term, D is the number of differencing required to make the time series stationary partial autocorrelation function. Coming to diagnostic error checking, by using measures like ECIC and Bayesian information criteria methods to check the model. As usual, we want this value to be as small as possible. Flowchart for time series forecasting. First, visualize the time series. Second, stationarize the series. Third, plot ACF or PSEF charts and find optimal parameters. 4. Build the ARIMA model. 5. Make predictions.
Hello guys, welcome to the coding part of time series forecasting. I think you are so better in theory part of time series forecasting. Now let's enter into the coding part. This is Google Colab, which I used to code for AI with Python. It's very useful notebook. It is easier to run codes and even to upload codes. As you can see here, you can upload via your my computer or through Google Drive. I already uploaded the dataset which I used to show the example of time series forecasting, that is airpassengers.csv, which I took from kaggle.com, which is an open source data source for datasets. And let's start with from importing the models. As usual, we import numpys, pandas and matplotlib.py for plotting the scatter plot or box plot or any other plots we need to plot. And here a new module called stats models, which is used for time series forecasting. Also we here import stats.model.tsa.seasonal. From this module we are importing seasonal underscore decompose. We will discuss in the further part of the video why should we use seasonal decompose. For this, first we need to read the dataset and print some of the lines. So here you can see we have some of the lines such as column names, month and hashtag passengers. You can see a few lines of that rows of the data. Here we are using plot of hashtag air passengers and model multiplicative model. As you seen before, there are two types of time series forecasting. I use a multiplicative because I use the month and as well as the number of passengers I took. So when I've just plotted, we can see the trend, the seasonal, the residual plots over here, as you can see here. But there are to perform an ARIMA model, as we discussed in the theory part, we need three variables such as PD, and Q. There are auto regression, integration, and moving average. this ARIMA model is auto regression integration moving average model. So we use here pyramid auto ARIMA model. The auto ARIMA function from the PM ARIMA library helps us to identify the most optimal parameters for ARIMA model and returns a fitted ARIMA model. That means this library itself says which of the models should be used, such as SRMA or ARIMA or any other one. To run PM ARIMA in Colab, you have to first run these two codes by taking out their common sections, and then only you can use PM ARIMA model because it's not inbuilt in Colab, Google's Colab. And here I am ignoring some of the warnings because not to make as hectic work, and I'm going to fit ARIMA model into the AirPass in this dataset as I mentioned here. In the variable called stepwise underscore fit, I gave a function auto ARIMA and passed a dataset, and all these are which are to be ignored, such as how these are inbuilt. That means they are default. I just want to show you what are the parameters we are going to give it to the auto ARIMA function. We only just normally give the data set, such as I given here airlines, and in square brackets we given a hashtag passengers, and we ask for the stepwise underscore fit to show its summary, and it shows some data, and we don't need everything in this data. We only need only some, such as 1 comma 1 comma O and 2 comma 1 comma and 2 comma 12, and here you can find out the model. That means here which I mentioned, the auto ARIMA model tells us to use SARIMAX. That means seasonal Aremax model. And here you can see the dependent variable is y, and model is 0, 1, 1 and 2, 1, 12. These are the two we are going to use in our further course, and these are general for our understandings. And now let's fit them into AirPassenger's data set, and we took some of we split the data into training split as we use as simple as linear regression, and from I have told before that we are going to take some models from stats models, and here we imported SARIMAX because the model suggested that SARIMAX model is very efficient for this data set. So we took the model and trained the model, and given an order and seasonal order, which I took from here. See here, it gave us these both. So we have to use only those for better values. And after fitting this model, we asked again the model to fit and for the summary, and it also gave some summary for us. And you can also check that the SARIMAX model is the SARIMAX model values are same here. And now let's start predictions for test set. As you know that as you can see from the below graph, I want the model to show me as a graph on level type. So I started from the length of train. That means the start is from the length of train, and the end is from the sum of train plus sum of length of test minus 1. So I plotted those to I use a matplotlib.py plot to predict the predictions, and use a test of hashtag passengers and plotted those with legend true. That legend means this top right box. Now we will evaluate the model using MSc and RMC, and from we can also use the mean square error method from linear regression, or we can use stats models error called RNSC. Not let's test the predictions, and we got predictions of 294.015, which is not bad. Now forecasting. Let's come to the forecasting part. We have given the model and the order and the season order which are we taken from the back, and we fit into the model by using a variable called result, and we forecast. We named a variable called forecast. In that variable forecast, we added a class and an object called result.predict, and all these are all some inbuilt default functions. Such only I think we will always change the type and rename these two, and we won't change any of these. And one sometimes on the basis of the data, I think we have to change for that. Now let's plot the values here, and you can see there is a seasonal increase in the seasonal graph, and all the blue color ones are passengers, and the orange color ones are the forecast. That means this is the given data, the blue color one, and the orange color part of the graph is the future prediction. So by this method of code, by using these modules, we can do time series forecasting with Python.
Okay friends, this is the final overview of time series forecasting. In this video, you learn what is a time series, what is forecasting, what is time series forecasting, types of time series forecasting, univariate and multivariate, patterns of data, components of time series model. We also learned some key definitions of time series forecasting, such as mean and variance, lag, white noise, stationary or time series. We also learned how to convert non-stationary to stationary time series by differencing or transformation. We also learned AR, MA and I, and find PDQ from the same. We learned the most important model, the ARIMA model. We learned that how to build an ARIMA model and finding the best model to predict. We learned how to use PMDARIMA to find the best model, and also learned how to install in the Google Colaboratory. We also checked the error finding part of the model. I think you had a fun with the coding part with Python. Check the code and the notes for the time series forecasting in the description. If you like the video, give us a big thumbs up and comment down below your favorite part in the time series forecasting. Don't forget to share to your friends who are learning AI with Python like us. Thank you.